Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Holland. I came to recognize a lot of these problems going on in the state of Rhode Island. That induced homicide bill should be vetoed. The governor should not sign it at all. I'm a man that lost 2 kids in this war on drugs we have out here because of this fentanyl. I buried my son 5 months ago. I buried my stepdaughter about 11 months ago. So I understand what Christine mother is going through, the loss of her daughter. I fully understand that. But I lost 2 kids as well in the same issue. By giving a man up to life imprisonment, it's not gonna make any sense at all, because y'all been trying to help with the same problem for over many years, and nothing has been helpful at all. I feel if we educate the public, families, friends, and what's going on out here in our community, in our world, I think we'll have a better outcome. By putting a man in prison, that's not the solution. A man, we can do better. Because like the other fellow speaker said, it's just costing millions and millions of dollars, and nothing's being done. Nobody's getting it. It's like a revolving door, in and out, in and out. And not every man is going to be guaranteed parole if he get a up to a life imprisonment sentence from a death from an overdose, or if he gives somebody these drugs. It's not going to help. But if we educate him, give that man a chance, and if he messes up, then I see him getting a life imprisonment sentence. But right now, I don't think that's the best solution of giving a man a life imprisonment sentence. I've been struggling with drug problem most of my life. I thank God for the people I've met, and I've come a long way in my life. I spent prison time, in and out. I've talked to my sons numerous times about these issues, but you know how kids are today. They listen when they feel like listening. A lot of kids deal with peer pressure today. It's sad, you know what I mean? But that's how that's the case with these kids today. But the people that's selling this crap, the low-level drug dealer, he's not putting fentanyl and heroin. They're getting the drugs the way they are. I'm sad to say this. It's a horrifying situation. But we need to educate one another and educate these kids that what they're doing out there selling these drugs is wrong. That you're killing your fellow man, and it has to stop. The governor should not sign this bill whatsoever. I've been talking to a lot of people, a lot of friends concerning these issues. A lot of people against me. They don't like what I'm doing, talking out. But I will continue talking out concerning this issue, because I lost two people that I love, my son and my stepdaughter I love dearly. And this is the only way I can fight back and help other families dealing with the same issue. And, I've made so much progress in my life. I've been clean for a few years now, and I'm happy and I feel better about myself. I don't think I could have done it without somebody educating me, like Ride Care and a number of other organizations that I've been involved in that have educated me and shown me a better way to deal with this instead of going back out in the street using. I've OD'd. I thank God that I'm living and I can speak to people today, because I should be dead, to be honest, to tell you the truth. But I'm not, I just hope this message get to the governor's desk and she really rethink the whole situation because you know, we have mental health community, we have a number of law enforcement people. I mean, a lot of people are against this, you know. Taxpayer is gonna pay $60,000 a year to house an inmate. A lot of people can't afford that, you know. That's a lot of money to house an inmate when you can educate them and put them in a program and get better results out of it. That's what we're asking for, you know, instead of incarcerate a man up to life imprisonment, you know. You know, there's all kind of organizations like the Users Union, Ride Care, and a number of Kodak. There's a number of organizations out here that's willing to help. You can go to the internet and you can get a hold of these people. And you could email and they will give people information dealing with this. So we don't have to incarcerate somebody up to life imprisonment. Imagine you being away from your family, how that hurts. You have to look at both sides of the situation, not just one side. And that's what a lot of people are failing to do, look at both sides of what's really going on out here. You know, it's two sides of the story, you know. Young kid goes up, he sells drugs, somebody dies. Young kid goes to jail for the rest of his life. Is that, I know the situation might not look fair, you know, but if you educate that young kid, because I know a lot of people that's been in this situation and they came out after they got educated and people talked to them and helped them. Now they are productive citizens out here now, doing the right thing. And we can continue doing that. My fellow friend Haley, she's going to college. Look at the progress she's made. I mean, so let's think about it. Is it by incarcerating somebody? Is that the right thing? The right thing to do? No, it's not. But when we can help that person. And, excuse me. Like I said, there's so many young men and women that's coming out of prison that have turned their life around. They're not using drugs no more. And they're doing fabulous out here. But they just need that chance, that little push, a little tough love. That's what they need. Incarcerating is not always the answer. I mean, this bill will affect the poor community. People that don't have money, people of color, this will affect us. And that's going to be the sad part about it. I mean, and we have to change this, because that's what's going to happen if this bill is passed, because it's all started with, you don't really hear about when ODs happen in the poor community. You don't really hear about it. But when it reaches a higher level, that's when you hear about it. That's the only time you hear about it, when it hits the suburbs and the middle class. That's when you hear about it, that it gets to the governor's desk that some rich kid died. But when it happens in the poor community, you hear nothing about it. It just goes through one ear and out the other ear. You don't hear about that little poor black kid or a little poor Spanish kid or a little poor white kid that died in the poor community. You hear nothing about it. But when it hits the middle class, that's when you hear about it. That's when they want these laws to change, okay? I mean, we as people, we need to unite and we need to change these laws, because if we don't, it's gonna stay the same way it is. Only when it hits the rich community, that's when somebody wants to hear. But when it hits the poor community, nobody wants to hear nothing. As long as they stay in the ghetto, they don't care. They don't care about them poor kids. Their lives matter too. And we have to start realizing them kids out there, they have a future. And we don't want to continue seeing the poor community kids dying either, or the adults, anybody else dying. Okay, so we need to take a good look at this whole situation instead of looking at it one way. And you know, and I hate to say it like this, I'm just trying to be honest, because this has been going on for years like this. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but I'm asking the governor to please not sign that bill, to veto it. Please not sign it. I'd just like to thank y'all for giving me the chance to speak and let y'all express how I feel today. And I just ask God to bless each and one of y'all family and that we please get the message out, you know, because we all play a big part in this, and we all need to start speaking and educating our community and helping one another with this issue, because this is the only way we're going to do this. And the only way we have to keep fighting in a positive way. We don't need violence or none of that stuff. We can do this among us and do it in positive manner, you know, like they did in the 60s and on other days. Well, we need to do this in a positive way and keep going at the governor to please not sign this. I mean, and that's all. Thank y'all. God bless you.